Wait, is Xander Cook actually going to team up with Kristen DiMera to rip baby Victoria right out of Sarah Horton's arms? Are you kidding me right now? I am literally shaking just thinking about what Kristen's gonna do to Sarah this time! Hey Days fans, welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful Tuesday, a perfect day to talk soap operas, and I've got some massive Salem drama to unpack today. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button right now so you never miss an update. Grab your coffee, pull up a chair, and get ready, because what I am about to tell you is absolutely going to blow your mind. Let's break down the raw spoilers first before we get into my heavy, highly opinionated analysis. The official spoilers for the week of May 25th reveal that Xander Cook and Kristen DiMera are not just sharing a quick afternoon delight. Oh no. Xander finishes up his sweaty little bedroom rodeo with Kristen at the Salem Inn, and then he immediately pivots to dealing with Sarah Horton. The spoilers tease that Sarah is going to be completely shocked. Xander is scrambling to cover his tracks, and he actually tries to use Gwen Rizchek as a distraction. There was a rumor floating around that Gwen wanted to partner up with Xander to buy the hospital, but Xander totally turns Gwen away, admitting that Titan's finances are in the toilet right now. Xander tries to use this boring corporate hospital board rejection as a smokescreen to hide his affair, but his sloppy behavior sets off massive alarm bells for Sarah. She is going to figure out that Xander and Kristen are exploring bedroom opportunities, and she is going to completely flip out. I am so incredibly disappointed in Xander Cook right now, you guys. I used to root for Xander and Sarah. I really did. I thought the writers were finally giving them a solid path forward. But this move? A huge mistake. Massive. A lot of fans think Xander is just hurting from the divorce and making impulsive choices out of heartbreak. I actually think Xander is completely regressing. Let's look at his psychology for a second. He is going right back to the dark, villainous Xander Cook we met years ago. The guy who was perfectly fine switching baby Mickey and baby Rachel. Think about his incredibly toxic dynamic with the late great Victor Kiriakis. Xander spent a decade trying to prove he was a good man worthy of the Kiriakis name and worthy of Sarah Horton. But every time Xander tries to walk the straight and narrow, he gets burned. I think the divorce just snapped something inside him. Xander is throwing up a massive middle finger to Salem High Society. He is basically saying that if everyone thinks he is a monster, he is going to go ahead and date the biggest monster in town. Paul Telfer is an absolute powerhouse of an actor, but I hate what the writers are doing to his character's redemption arc. Let's talk about the Gwen Rizchek aspect for a minute. Gwen comes to Xander with a massive corporate proposal to buy the hospital. It is a huge power play, but Xander shoots Gwen down because Titan is broke. Instead of dealing with the business side of things, Xander uses this interaction to gaslight Sarah. He tries to make Sarah think his only secret is a failed business deal with Gwen. Xander is weaponizing Gwen's ambition to hide his affair with Kristen. It is so manipulative. Emily O'Brien has been doing incredible work as Gwen, and I love that she is unknowingly being used as a pawn in Xander's twisted game of hide and seek. But Sarah is too smart for that. She is going to see right through the hospital board excuse. She is going to smell Kristen DiMera's expensive perfume all over Xander's jacket. And then we have Kristen DiMera. Sarah thought Gwen Rizchek was the worst thing to ever happen to her relationship. Oh, honey. Gwen Rizchek is an absolute saint compared to Kristen DiMera. Do we need to take a trip down memory lane? Because I honestly believe we do. Let's think back to 5, maybe 10 years ago. Kristen DiMera is the woman who literally stole Teresa Donovan's embryo right out of her body. Remember that insane 2015 storyline with baby Tate? Kristen has a terrifying, deep-seated psychological obsession with children and motherhood. And now Kristen is getting her claws into Xander, who just happens to have a beautiful little girl in Victoria. I think this is Kristen's new twisted obsession. She sees Victoria, she sees a vulnerable, angry Xander, and Kristen is ready to play stepmommy from hell. Stacey Hyduck is absolutely killing it right now. She plays unhinged so perfectly, but the idea of Kristen DiMera playing house with Victoria Kiriakis is giving me actual nightmares. Now, let's talk about the absolute nightmare that is going to be Sarah Horton's mental state. This poor woman cannot catch a break. Let's review Sarah's trauma history. Sarah lost baby Mickey in one of the most heartbreaking storylines of the last decade. Sarah was drugged, she hallucinated that she was Renee Dumond, she was locked away in a trunk, shipped to a deserted island, and literally replaced by a doppelganger wearing a mask. And who was the architect of that entire kidnapping? Kristen freaking DiMera! The PTSD Sarah must be feeling right now is off the charts. Realizing that her former abuser, the woman who stole months of her life, is now sleeping with her baby daddy and potentially trying to take her child. That is not just a red flag. That is a nuclear siren. Lindsay Godfrey is going to act the house down in these scenes. I can already see the absolute devastation on Sarah's face when she realizes Xander has betrayed her in the worst way possible. And we cannot ignore the Brady Black factor in all of this. Brady has his own incredibly toxic history with Kristen DiMera. I mean, Brady and Kristen have a rap sheet of bad decisions a mile long. If Sarah runs to Brady and tells him that Xander is sleeping with Kristen, Brady's gonna lose his absolute mind. The thought of Xander teaming up with his psychotic ex-girlfriend, that is gonna send Brady into a rage. I predict we are going to see a massive physical altercation between Xander Cook and Brady Black in the middle of Horton Town Square. Sweeps month is coming up, and the writers love a good public brawl. Brady's going to step up to protect Sarah, and that is going to push Sarah directly into Brady's arms. It is the classic soap opera trope, and I am entirely here for it. I honestly believe we are looking at the setup for the most toxic custody battle in the history of Days of Our Lives. With Titan bleeding money, Xander is desperate. I wouldn't be shocked if Kristen is secretly funding Xander's legal fees for this upcoming custody battle. Kristen is buying Xander's loyalty, just like she buys everything else in Salem. The contrast here is just phenomenal television. Kristen is a lethal mastermind who blows up churches and pushes people out of windows. The idea that Xander is going to bring this woman around baby Victoria is child endangerment, plain and simple. I think Xander is so blinded by his anger towards Sarah that he cannot see he is making a deal with the devil. Kristen is using him to get back at EJ, to cause chaos, and to satisfy her own sick cravings for a family. If I were writing this show, I would have Sarah go totally scorched earth. A lot of fans think Sarah's just going to cry to Maggie Kiriakis and play the victim, leaning on her family for support. We know Brady Black is hovering around, ready to play the hero and comfort Sarah. But I actually think we are about to see a massive villain era for Sarah Horton. I really do. When you corner a mother, she fights back. I want to see Sarah resort to blackmail, kidnapping, whatever it takes. Imagine if Sarah recruits someone totally unexpected, like a returning legacy character, to help her destroy Kristen. What if Sarah completely loses her mind and decides to take Kristen out permanently? The ratings for Sweeps Month would be through the roof. The writers have pushed Sarah to the brink so many times, but this has to be the straw that breaks the camel's back. Sarah is not going to let Kristen DiMera raise Victoria. She will burn Salem to the ground first. So here is the million-dollar question for you guys. When Sarah inevitably finds out about this twisted alliance, when she sees Xander and Kristen smirking at her in the town square, what is her first move? Does she grab Victoria and flee Salem in the dead of night? Does she pull a weapon on Kristen DiMera and end this once and for all? Because, let's not forget, Sarah has had some pretty unhinged moments of her own when pushed to the absolute limit. I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Are you Team Xander on this? Or do you think he has completely lost the plot? Is Kristen gonna actually care for Victoria? Or is this just another sick game? Drop your thoughts below. Hit that like button if you love a good soap opera deep dive. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss out on the latest Salem tea. Catch you guys in the next video.